Hey everybody, how you doing? Tom Willard here, Tom Willard Trading. Doing this report on Saturday, May 30th for trading next week, the week of June 1st, 2015. Welcome. One quick follow-up on the CENX. You know, as we talked about it, you can go through the last series of videos. But was looking at this as a long idea, and like I said, the stop of this trade, if you went long on it, was 12:35, and it broke it. So you should be out if you follow my methods of trading. It hit my stop, okay, 12:35, so out, and it broke down here. Now, I talked about in the last video how I was leaning more toward if this thing based out longer, going short on it, but I did not go short because I still don't like how extended down it is in general, even though it's been basing for about 10 weeks, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 weeks. It's still extended from the moving average. Okay, you have the flat 200 here below on the weekly chart. This is the weekly chart. So I didn't go short on it, but if you were long in it, well, it hit the stop. It broke the low. So again, you've got to take your stops, in my opinion. You get out and you move on. Okay, so that's the follow-up on CENX. Now, for this video, like I talked about in the title, I'm doing something different. I usually don't talk about sectors much, but the airline sector obviously has garnered a lot of interest over the last several months, a few years actually. And in fact, if I just look at let's just take a look at one of the big name ones, Delta. If you look over the last on the weekly chart, you can see that they've been in fact, let's go to the monthly. You can see that since about 2012, right? Um, Really a huge move here by the airlines. There's Delta. Let me just run through a few other ones that are well known. American Airlines, quite a big run. United Airlines, you can see also really big runs here. So the question is now, there's been a lot of weakness as of late in these names. And people are wondering, okay, so what should I do about this sector? With oil prices, and you see it reported everywhere that they're making tons of money, hand over fist, and that there's at least no end in the immediate future with regards to their profits. But if you look at the daily chart, look at how this United has been getting crushed over the last 8 to 10 trading days, and then in general on the downside, if you look at the weekly chart, right? Well, let's do a little relative strength exercise. Now, here's a number of airline stocks. Okay, so there's United. Just take a look, a snapshot of the picture. Now, obviously, you can take snapshots of the screen of this video if you like, and you can compare them, or you can just look them up on your own platform. Look at how deeply it's retraced here, this move. Okay, there's United. Here's Delta. Okay, notice the relative strength. Can you see here between Delta? Look, it's pulled back, but it's held this area here, right? Whereas UAL, look at how much deeper it's come back into the moving average. DAL. DAL has relative strength. Let's take a look at AAL. AAL is also falling apart, very much like UAL on its weekly chart. AAL is similar. And look at DAL. See how much stronger it is. Okay, so out of those three, Delta is stronger. Okay, so if you want to go long on the airlines, I would lean more toward Delta than the other two because it's showing more strength. Okay, now if the airlines have more downside, then what happens is some of these leaders follow the losers. That is, Delta will roll over as well as some of the other ones. Let's take a look at a few others here. Let's look at Save. Spirit Airlines. Look at how deep it's come back in. Again, compare it to Dow. Save. Look at AAL. Okay, so Save is in that same group as where it's been hammered more off the highs. Delta's still the strongest. Let's throw in Love. Love was holding up really well, but it really gave it up. It really gave it up the last few days on this move down here. Okay, so Love really got slammed, and it now falls into the same weakness category as AAL, DAL, or UAL. Okay, and Save. All right. So but Dow again still the strongest. Now let's take a look at Alaska Airlines. Holy smoke! Look at how strong. Look at Alaska. Look at Dow. Alaska is stronger than Dow. Dow's pulled off more off its highs. It's deeper in its 40 moving average. Let's go back to ALK. It hasn't even touched its 40 period moving average. Alaska is stronger than Dow. It's the strongest one we've seen so far. Let's take a look at JetBlue for the last case. Look at JetBlue. JetBlue is stronger than Alaska even, okay, on a weekly chart. Daily chart here, it's come back down to the 40. But again, if you compare that to, say, Alaska, it's below, slightly below. It's worked its way back up. And, of course, if you look at Dow, it's below AAL, UAL well below. Okay, so let's go back to JetBlue. That is the strongest chart on the longer time frames. Now, the question is, what should we do with these? Right? Who cares about the past? It's, can I make money now? Should I go long? Should I go short? Should I day trade it long? Should I swing trade it long? Should I swing trade it short? Should I day trade it short? Should I ignore it completely? Okay, what should I do? Well, in general, people are thinking, I've seen articles written on this that oh, airlines are screaming by, they're making tons of money, they've pulled back here now, get loose, start buying the crap out of these. Well, I wouldn't be so sure, at least from a long perspective. Now, let me tell you, for my scans, I just scanned my entire universe of stocks, came up with 20 sweet, sweet ideas for next week. Airlines, a lot of these airlines, I'm watching them. They're kind of in the lower tier, okay? But I'm watching these as longs on the day trade side only because of the big move down. Here's the 60-minute chart of Dow, okay? It's come down here quite a bit. You can see it's got pockets. It's got a big pocket of room here above where it fell apart here, above the 40-ish mark, okay? Obviously, it held up here. Let's take a look at some of the other ones here. AAL, and these are 60-minute charts. AAL is much cleaner. Okay, so if the airlines can catch a bid next week, look at this little cup with handle. Look at the volume dropping off. Okay, now granted, it's not quite out of the woods yet, but because of how far it came down, I don't think this resistance point is going to hold it much. I like AAL as a day trade to the long side next week. Okay, pay attention to the words I'm using. Okay, a day trade to the long side next week if and when it sets up. Okay, AAL, UAL. Much cleaner. Look at that. UAL and AAL, even though they're weaker in general in the longer time frames like I talked about, these ones to me are hot ones to watch for day trades only on the long side next week, okay, if they set up for you. Okay? Meaning they got to get up here, they may be base. I mean, in a sense, if you're aggressive, you could buy them over 54, buy this one over 54.80 with a stop here about 54 on your 60-minute chart, okay, and look for a run up to the 57, 58 mark, 59. Okay, if you can hold it over a couple days. Okay, but now day trading, I like these as longs next week. So if you like them, follow them with me. Keep an eye on them. Obviously, I'll tweet about them if and when. Another thing I want to mention to you guys. This is a time when I go more dormant. I love trading during the heavy part of earnings season. When things wind down from an earnings perspective, this week in June, I'll take some days off here. I got some other projects I'm working on. Some really cool stuff coming for you guys that are following my trading stuff in July. I'll post some new stuff here that'll be, I think it'll knock your socks off if you're interested. So I'm working on stuff through this month, not day trading as much. I'm in the market every day, managing swings, maybe some overnight holds. This could be one that I day trade as well as overnight hold if I'm trading that particular day. So anyway, UAL and AAL I really like as day trade watches for the long side. Okay. Now, here's the problem, though, let's look at JetBlue again on the daily, okay, and on the weekly. So the question is, okay, you want a day trade, Tom, but I like these as long-term investments. I want to buy these and hold these, okay? And I would say not so fast, okay? You can see on the monthly chart here now how far it's gone. Now, from a swing trading perspective, will I hold these overnight long? Yes. Multiple days, though, you're asking for trouble because of these monthlies. They're ridiculously extended. Look at JetBlue. Look at ALK. It looks like a top, actually. It looks like you should get short. Okay? Dow. Okay? Another one. Really, really monstrous run. Is now the time to buy and think this is going to continue? I don't know. To me, it's not. The odds aren't on your side. They don't favor you. AAL really hasn't been trading quite as long. Save. Okay? Look at Save. All right, big, massive bars, hard to get nice, tight reward to risk, okay? Tight risks so that your rewards can pay off for you. Okay, so in general, I would not be a buyer of these from a long-term perspective at this point, okay? They got to settle, and they've had huge runs. Let them pull back more, okay? But day trades, maybe hold it for one night or 2 nights on the long side, fine. Would I short them now? Heck no, okay? Heck no, because they're too far down in general to be shorting on an overnight basis, okay? You got to be more patient. So it's more of a wait and see on the swing side on these airlines for me, okay? But on a day trade, in light of what's happened over the last 7-8 trading sessions, these are for the next week only, okay? And of course, as we go forward, we'll see. but I'm watching them as long ideas. And of course, if they don't set up, then you don't take them. If love stays in this area and just dances around, there's no entry, there's no play. Okay, so don't force it. You just have a bias going into the next week of what you're going to do if things set up how you want them to. Okay, that's the key. You don't just blindly go and say, "Well, I like this. I scanned it. I'm going to go long." No, it's got to set up for you, and you got to know what you're looking for. Okay. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little walk through the airline sector and my assessment of those things. So that's what I'm looking at, and I'm looking at no real long-term holds to the long side at this point just yet. Okay. Now again, it may set up here. This is the monthly chart. If love comes down here, to the 30-34 area, sets up a nice type of setup, then absolutely you could consider that. But until it does that, right now it's a no play on the on the swing trading long and short side on these airlines for me. Day trading long only. Okay. Okay, now for the last piece. Like I said, I found a number of ideas here, swing trade, long and short, but I don't have time to go through all of them, so I'm just going to share this one with you. Westport Innovations. Here's the monthly chart. You can see this massive area where it's gone up, and it's come down considerably, and it's come down to where it put in a low here in 2008. So it's got support in this area. I think it could bounce some more. I don't anticipate it going to 50 anytime soon, but as a day trade, or I'm sorry, as a swing trade, I think it's a good idea. Here's the weekly chart. Okay, notice a smooth slop here, smoothly comes down, pops up on massive volume very nicely, comes back, makes a higher low, comes up, cup, handle forming, guys. It may not hit next week. Okay, the handle here on the daily has been longer. It's hitting the rising moving average here. Okay. But this is a cup with a handle with the volume supporting it, okay, in all cases. I love this as a swing long idea. Now, the safest entry on this thing is going to be over 618, okay? 674 was the high here. You don't need to wait for 674. Look for 618, okay? And your stop would be about $1, about $5, say 518, 520, whatever, okay? As of right now, it may not hit for another month. It may need another, couple weeks here to base. Okay, now granted, it's basing here, all right, but it may need a couple more bars here for the 20-period average of the weekly chart to catch up to it. And if it does it in a low volume, I'll watch this and I'll continue to update you when I'm doing videos on these weekends as this may or may not set up. Now, if it falls apart, obviously, again, don't go buying this tomorrow. I mean, it's not tomorrow, but Monday. Okay, just because I'm talking about it here. It's got to get up over the high. Now, for you guys that are more aggressive, you can see that it's put in a high here at 560, 562, 563, 563. Okay, so if you want to be more aggressive, now I think there's a higher odds you get stopped out. Okay, but if you're like me, you don't care. You just take your stops and get out. Okay, you don't identify with the loss. You just take it. If it goes over 563 and you're more aggressive, you may want to nibble in. Okay, buy a half a position, okay, then buy the other half if it breaks the high, or buy a full position and just put your stop here into 521. Okay, so you're risking about 40 to 50 cents per share. Okay, and you're looking target-wise on this thing, or I'm looking target-wise on this thing for a move. You got a pretty smooth move down. I'm looking for a double. I mean, it could get to $10 a share. Okay, and again, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't anticipate to happen that you're going to get in at 563 and then in the next 2 days it's going to go to 10. It could. I doubt it. Okay. You may be in this thing for the rest of 2015 to get up there. Who knows? You may be in it. I mean, here it literally came from 10 to 6 in a week. So it could go right back up to 10 in a week, but I think it's unlikely. Nonetheless, I like this as a swing long idea. So I'm sharing this with you. Okay. Those are my thought processes around it. And again, we'll see how it unfolds. It may not hit, but I'm starting to watch it this week. I'm going to start watching it this week, and like I said, passive entry, more of a less aggressive entry is to wait for it to get up to 618. More aggressive is to get in here, but you keep your stop tighter, okay? But there's more chance of getting noised, whipped out of this thing, and then it goes, or this thing could turn around and go down to zero. That's another option, okay? But again, that's why we take our stops. We know where we want to get in, we know where we want to get out, okay? All right, hope you found this video useful. I hope you have a great weekend, and hit me up on tom@tomwillertrading.com if you got any questions, and or just post here to the video. Have a great weekend.